bang on time for a very interesting show today. Of course, remember every Monday, if you watch this show with any regularity, we have This Is The Point coming your way. And today we focus on party politics. Of course, it has been a very intensified last week where we saw some shambolic, party nominations, of course, when it was time for the county board elections in Bomas of Kenya, and where the Jubilee party and Jubilee, of course, aspirants were there. It was a fracas. And of course, we try and look also at what is happening within the NASA coalition. Up to now, they've not really named their flag bearer. We'll look at the nitty-gritties of this today. So we have our panelists today, of course, taking us through this particular debate. We have Farah Maalim, who is the deputy leader of Wiper Party. Also, we have Kipruto Arab Kirwa, who is the deputy leader of ANC and also the former minister of Agriculture. Also, we do have with us Dr. Shemo Chodho, who is a global leader of Kenya Diaspora Alliance, Professor Nyong'o, and as well as Alice Wahome. She is a member of parliament from Kandara. So we have a very interesting show today. And we're asking you this question. This is all about party politics and what is happening, of course, in terms of throwing barbs when it comes to corruption. And we're asking you, do you think in any way the corruption allegations by Right Honorable Raila Odinga against the Jubilee government are authentic? Do you think the corruption allegations by Right Honorable Raila Odinga against the Jubilee administration are authentic? You can hit us on Twitter. AMLiveNTV is a Twitter handle, AMLiveNTV is a profile name on Facebook, and 20505 our SMS portal. Let's put this horse into full run by looking at the dailies this morning, and this is what is on the front page of the Daily Nation today. Let me just show it clearly to you. This is what it says. NEC, Joho's school papers are forgeries. What a revelation. This is what is on the front page of the Daily Nation today. Exams body says governor did not register for Form 4 test in 1992 as claimed. Invalidation of Form 4 result slip jeopardizes Mombasa firebrand's career. That story is tucked away on page 6 of the Daily Nation today. And you can see yesterday, back on the trail, we can see here CORD leader Raila Odinga and his ODM deputy leader and Mombasa Governor Ali Hassan Joho arriving at Tononoka grounds, Mombasa, to address a rally yesterday. We'll give you the gritty details of this much later in the course of the program. Also in cost declaration, Joho leads counties to throw their weight behind ODM chief Raila after a short absence storms back in the campaigns, taking on Uhuru and gaining torchbearer endorsement. That story on page 4 of the Daily Nation today. Also, ministers make pitch for Jubilee. Kilifi North MP Gideon Mungaro addressing, you can be seeing here, addressing Jubilee supporters at Cleopatra grounds in Malindi yesterday. He was joined by Cabinet Secretary or Secretaries General Mwangi Kinjuri and Dan Kazungu. That story tucked away also inside the Daily Nation today. There is a sidebar story as well. Storms bruise over 3.8 billion shillings poll contract. Jubilee politicians have asked CORD leader Raila Odinga to come clean over the controversial single sourcing of the 3.8 billion shillings elections management system to a French firm by the Electoral Commission. Speaking in Malindi yesterday, National Assembly Majority Leader Edwin Duale and Water Minister Eugene Wamalwa said owners of the French firm's Safran were close allies of Mr. Odinga. That story tucked away on page 6 of the Daily Nation today. Let's see what we have in the Star today. Inside Uhuru Ruto tenor machine, Jubilee lays out elaborate plans for Kenyatta re-election. JP hires over 300 staff, data experts, statistical analysts, and communication professionals. On page 4 and 5 is where this story is tucked away inside the Daily Nation, inside the Star, I should say. And you can see what a crowd yesterday at the Tononoka grounds, mammoth of them. They really actually came swelling there at the Tononoka grounds yesterday. This is how they massed yesterday. And you can see massive, it says massive party of ODM crowd in Tononoka grounds yesterday. Part of ODM crowd in Tononoka grounds yesterday. That is a story inside the Star that you can follow as well. Let's see what we have also the front page of the Business Daily. Danone buys Kenyatta's out of Brookside, Tanzania. It's a deal book. Move leaves French farm in full control of business they jointly owned. Right? I don't know if it's Danone or Danone. I leave it for you to decipher since it's a French farm there. But this story is tucked away on page 4 of the Business Daily today. Also, there is a sidebar story MPs want freeze on new mega projects. Parliament wants ministries and state corporations to avoid starting any new projects until the ones launched under the Mwai Kibaki administration's Vision 2030 blueprint are completed. That story also on page 4 of the Business Daily. Action galore, and we can see here golf fans follow the action during the final day of Barclays Kenya Open at Muthaiga Golf Club yesterday. That is a story that you need to follow also inside the Business Daily. Also MPC expected to keep key lending rates steady. That is a story also inside the Business Daily today. Let's take a quick look also at what we have inside the People Daily. Mixed signals by NASA principals. Supporters of opposition leaders at various weekend rallies continues to read from different scripts on who the coalition flag bearer should be. That story tucked on page 6 of the People Daily. Supporters of opposition leaders at various weekend rallies continues to read from different scripts on who the coalition flag bearer should be. That story continues on page 6 of the People Daily. Golden Boys will give you all the gritty details of this inside our news today. Let's move on and to see what we have inside the Daily Monitor, and this is a headlining story. Uganda wins gold, and you can see hope restored. Teenager Jacob Kiplimo won Uganda's first ever gold in world cross country after beating 105 other participants to win the junior men's 8-kilometer race in a best time of 22 minutes and 40 seconds. That story tucked on page 4 and page 41 and 44 of the Daily Monitor today. Let's move on and we see what we have also in Tanzania. We have the Citizen for you in Tanzania, and this is what we have today. John Pombe Magufuli sacks mineral PS amid gold controversy. Dismissal linked to remarks that appeared to contradict President's position on concentrates export ban. Professor Justin Ntalikwa sacked a few hours after accompanying a team of lawmakers led by Speaker Job Ndugai on a visit to Dar es Salaam port. That story continues on page 2 of the Citizen in Tanzania. Let's move on and we see what also we have still in Tanzania. The Mwananchi is carrying this particular story. CCM yaweka kizingiti kingine kuchunguza wahisani wanaotaka kukichangia chama hicho. Watangaza safu mpya ya makatibu wa mikoa na wilaya nchini ama nchi nzima. That is a story that we have on the front page of Mwananchi. Let's see what we have also inside Rwanda today. Uncertainty high as ban on 30-seat PSVs near. That is a story on the front page of the Rwanda today. This is also inside the East African today. We still are also in Rwanda. The New Times also is there. Kagame, he says world must unite against genocide ideology. That is a story on the front page of the New Times in Rwanda. Justice sector seeks more professionalism. That is also another story that you want to follow. And we can see President Kagame addressing the 2017 AIPAC Policy Conference, an annual pro-Israel gathering in Washington, D.C. yesterday. Kagame called for global solidarity against efforts to deny genocide and trivialize the victims, saying that security of one's targeted people is beyond physical. That story continues on page 2 of the New Times. And we want to see also what we have in Taifa Leo today. This is what we have inside Taifa Leo. Raila afichua kashfa mpya. That is a story that is headlining the front page of Taifa Leo. Adai serikali ilihongwa ili kupatia milki ya Kiarabu usimamizi wa sehemu ya bandari ya Mombasa. And that story continues on page 2 of Taifa Leo. And lastly, let's see what we have this week in the East African. Understanding the region, finally, investors can put their money in gold at NAC. Alternative to stocks, the Capital Markets Authority approves the listing of 400,000 gold bullion debentures, or bullion, but I think it's bullion. Gold bullion debentures, that is the story that we can follow there on page 4 of the East African this week. Buy Uganda goes against market protocol is a sidebar story as well. And International Women's Month, celebrating EA's heroines under this year's theme, Be Bold for Change, will bring you profiles of women who are changing their communities. Full report on the page inside the East African this week. Let's see what we have as editorial cartoons, and this is now what has been drawn by Iga inside the Daily Nation today. Of course, you can see the briefcase wording cash out there is from China. Please help, I will pay when I get my jackpot predictions right. The budget deficits. Remember also, this week the Treasury will be reading the budget estimates, so we'll be covering that for you also inside NTV as well. This is what now we have inside the Taifa Leo. And we can see here how also Iga has drawn inside the Taifa Leo. Wagombea na uchaguzi. We can see now they're passing through, you know, the vetting, and of course we can see also the papers of Joho. They're questionable right now, according to. And we can see also this is what Gado has drawn inside the Standard, the AU Commissioner Chair, and looming largely over him, of course, is Morocco. So is he being influenced by Morocco? We'll leave it for you to decide for this. And lastly, this is the top shot of the day. Of course, congratulations to Cheptai. Kenya's Irene Cheptai crosses the finish line to win the women's senior 10 kilometers marathon during the World Cross Country Championships in Kampala that was happening yesterday. This is a photo by Isaac Kasamani, courtesy of AFP Photo, and congratulations again to our own here, Irene Cheptai. That is now the top shot of the day. You can grab a copy of a Daily Nation or a copy of a Star, whichever paper that really floats your boat. But for now, let's see what the highlights. And Cheptai win senior races as Kenya takes overall World Cross title. Raila threatens Uhuru with impeachment in long-running Joho Marwa battle. And Ivory Coast boosts port security over threat attack. Hello, good morning. We begin with some good news. Kenya dominated the World Cross Country Championships with Geoffrey Kamworor defending his men's title, Irene Cheptai leading a historic clean sweep in the women's race, and Asbel Kiprop helping to secure a third gold in the mixed relay. Kamworor had to rely on a late break to win the men's race in 28 minutes and 24 seconds, making him the first back-to-back winner since 2008. Uganda's Joshua Cheptegei had led for most of the race, but he burnt out in the final lap. I should say. Kamworor made no mistake to take gold with national champion Leonard Borosoton second. Kenya proved to be even more dominant in the women's race, Cheptai leading home 5 of her teammates for a first ever podium clean sweep. Alice Aprot won silver and bronze went to Lilian Kasait. Defending champion Agnes Tirop placed 5th, and Olympic 1,500 meters champion Faith Kipyegon came in 6th. Kenya also took home the inaugural mixed relay title with 1,500 meters world champion Asbel Kiprop leading Bernard Koros and Beatrice Chepkoech to the medal victory. Uganda and Ethiopia dominated in the men and women's junior races, with Kenya taking home bronze in the 2 events. Kenya collected a total of 8 medals, 3 gold, 2 silver and 3 bronze to clinch the overall title. Congratulations, I know that they are to our athletes. ODM party leader Raila Odinga has warned the Jubilee administration against letting its officers, such as the Coast Regional Coordinator Nelson Maron, harass its leaders, saying the opposition can impeach President Uhuru Kenyatta if the habit continues. Raila spoke in Tononoka, where the current regime came under sharp criticism for allegedly sabotaging the economy of the coast. ODM leaders hit out at President Uhuru Kenyatta and the Coast Regional Coordinator Nelson Marwa for what they say is frustrating Governor Hassan Joho. The issue of land was not left out, with some leaders calling for the implementation of a Truth, Justice and Reconciliation report. In a 7-point Pwani declaration, economic empowerment was given top priority.
You cannot impose a provincial administration on an elected government by the people of the county. Bwana Uhuru akijaribu kuendelea namna hiyo, tunaweza kumimpeach yeye for violating the constitution. Ali Hassan Joho amesimama imara. Yeye ni shujaa. Na Joho amesimama na sisi tutasimama na Joho kufa na kupona.
That our natural resources and economic interests shall be the first consideration in the selection of our political choices.
Wana Jubilee wanajivunia SGR. SGR hiyo ni mradi wa Grand Coalition Government ya Kibaki na Raila. Tulikuwa tumechora, tukapanga, tukatenda, tukapeana kandarasi. Jubilee ilipoingia wakafuatilia hiyo tenda mbali, wakaritenda na wakapeana hiyo kandarasi, lakini kwa bei karibu maradufu.
Kutoa kontena moja ya 20 foot kutoka Mombasa mpaka Nairobi kupitia SGR itakuwa shilingi 1,103,000, 103,000. Saa hii kupeleka kontena na lori ni shilingi 80,000. So hiyo tayari itakuwa shilingi 20,000 zaidi ya bei ya sasa. Je, imekuja kutusaidia, imekuja kutufilisi?
Wao wanasema tumepeana title deeds ya elfu ngapi? Hapana. Tunaongea juu ya ile ardhi ambayo ilinyakuliwa irudishwe watu wa Pwani. Hiyo title deed unaweza kupeana hata $1,000,000, lakini hiyo sio kutibu ugonjwa wa Pwani.
Ni miaka 4 imeenda, serikali ya kitaifa ya Jubilee imeshindwa kutatua swala la ardhi.
Now, the Jubilee Party is now claiming that the company the IEBC recently awarded a tender to provide the integrated elections management system was sourced by ODM leader Raila Odinga, adding that the opposition has no right to question it. Speaking during a rally in Malindi, National Assembly Majority Leader Eden Duale said it was Raila who sought the services of Saffron Identity and Security, or MOFO, as it was called then in 2012. Other Jubilee leaders present also took issue with the suggestion by the opposition to put up an alternative tallying center, insisting it was only the IEBC which has the mandate.
Madeni tunachukua kulipia kujenga reli, tumechukua madeni kupadua stima, tumechukua madeni kuboresha bandari, tumechukua madeni kujenga barabara. Wakati walikuwa serikalini walichukua deni kulipia Golden Bank. The only tallying center inakubaliwa kisheria, kikatiba ni tallying center ya IEBC.
Nafikiri wameangalia wakaona wanaenda kushindwa, sasa wanatafuta excuses mbele ya uchaguzi.
What they want with IEBC is to create a parallel system ili wapate kizingiti ama kisingizio ya kuleta fujo na vurugu na mauaji na migawanyiko ya kikabila Kenya hii.
Ile kampuni ya Saffron ambaye wamepewa kandarasi ya kulete vyombo vya teknolojia, hiyo kampuni wenyewe tunawajua, marafiki wakubwa wa Raila Odinga.
Imekuwaje leo the same company that was contracted in 2013 with the full authority of the Prime Minister, ya kwamba sasa eti hiyo kampuni does not qualify? Is it that ukiwa ndani ya serikali kampuni inakuwa nzuri, ukiwa nje kampuni inakuwa mbaya.
Swali langu ni moja kwa hawa viongozi wa upinzani. Manake nyinyi mnatafuta kula na sijasikia Jubilee inaingia kwenu na wenu wanatoka. Wale watampigia kula wako hewani ama wako biguni.
Sisi tumehama kwa sababu tumeona Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta ako na moyo wa kusawazisha dhuluma za kihistoria.
Mmekuwa mkiongea mbona watu wameenda kufanya kazi kwa serikali, ama wakina Mung'aro wanaenda kufanya kazi na serikali, lakini nafikiri hii miaka mitatu faida yake mmeona.
And opposition leader Raila Odinga now wants the president to come clean on the 28 billion shilling loan granted to Kenya by the UAE to run the second container terminal in Mombasa. The opposition leader says the loan could have been given as a bribe to allow the UAE to run the port unprocedurally. According to Raila, the government's decision to accept 28 billion shillings loan from the UAE was motivated by the need to have the contract of running the KPA's second container terminal awarded to a Dubai-based company, Dubai Port World. He claims the port terminal funded and constructed by Japan should have been handed over to the Japanese to run. Indeed, he contends that there were other 12 firms that had tendered their bids to run the port. Dubai World was defeated but was handed the tender anyway. The Kenyan government signed a bilateral agreement with the UAE in October last year, where the UAE agreed to lend the state 28 billion shillings. The loan was also to be used for the development of Kipevu oil terminal.
Can the president explain to Kenyans how the Dubai loan, if at all it is a loan and not a bribe, is a better deal than what we would get from other institutions like the World Bank or other nations? Why did it come just when the United Arab Emirates was seeking to manage our port? This so-called loan looks more like a bribe to senior persons in government than a loan. It has been given on condition that the government of the United Arab Emirates will appoint an agent to operate, manage, and undertake the expansion of the second container terminal of the port of Mombasa. UAE went ahead to appoint Dubai Port World, that is DP World, to manage the facility. It would appear the United Arab Emirates did not win but purchased the management of our second container terminal at a cost of $275 million. Loans are usually sought for specific projects. This particular one appears to be looking around for something to finance as long as the port is delivered. It is a case study in avoiding accountability for money disbursed. It can later be claimed to finance anything and everything. Can Mr. President explain whether Kenya sought a loan from the United Arab Emirates and what we needed the loan for?